Hi guys, wanted to talk to y'all about something, and this video is going to be what our live is going to be over this Friday night, which is actually going to drop. I'll probably drop it tomorrow at 5:15 on Friday. On a quick note, there's been a guy that has took my channel over. It's made a clone channel of mine. Spooktator Bob is the name of the channel, so if you are subscribed to it, you may want to go unsubscribe. I've been getting a lot of messages and emails of people that are on that page are getting hacked. It is the Facebook page, so if you're on there, you may check. He has added people that did not want to even be on the page, and he was running under my name for a while, so how convenient. So Spooktator Boob is over there trying to grab people off of my name, so you might want to unsubscribe if you're on his page. What we're going to talk about today, guys, has a lot of information about what we're going to talk about Friday night. This is a scary subject. I think it is scary. This is one of the things that bothers me more probably than anything. But it is what it is. I mean, we're going to talk about it, and we should have a lot of information on it Friday night. And Christy is unfortunately a person that has been affected by this and is affected by this still today. So she's going to have a lot of insight, I hope, that we'll be able to talk about during the show. For a lot of you that don't know, also I done a Boots on the Ground. It's going to be released, it's going to be September 2nd at 5:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. There is vocalizations in it, and there is things in it you're not going to want to miss, so don't skip through it so you don't miss some of the vocalizations and things that happen. Alright guys, let's get on with it. A key aspect of the Hat Man's lore is that no one really seems to know where he comes from, or what he wants. What we do know is that multiple people around the world have provided testimonies of having seen him, often during episodes of sleep paralysis or after they have had extremely dangerous doses of over-the-counter medication. And I went deep into that, guys. I looked really far into that, and I'm going to tell you something at the end of this video that may help you if you're having sleep paralysis. It made a lot of sense to me. The oldest known attempt to consolidate various accounts of the Hat Man comes from the man named Timothy Brown, who started the Hat Man Project in 2001 and is going strong with fresh testimonies published in October of 2022. The first few posts on his blog also provided us with some clues to the Hat Man's lore. Apparently, he is part of a cohort of spirits known as shadow people. The phenomenon so commonly experienced that it is even has its own Wikipedia page. The Hat Man, sometimes referred to as the Gray Man or the Shadow Man, is an entity that is described as a man wearing a wide-brimmed hat and a long trench coat. In some encounters, the Hat Man is described as wearing a cowboy hat, a fedora, or an older top hat, and sometimes wearing a black cloak, suit, or even a beard. When a Hat Man does appear, the witness is usually sleeping in the early morning hours, although users of Ouija boards have also described encountering the Hat Man. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, the Hat Man does not have to appear while you're asleep. And I will explain that in the live and why I'm saying that, because we had an encounter at my house and it's way different than this. Others, such as Heidi Hollis, the author of The Hat Man, The True Story of Evil Encounters, suggest that the Hat Man is a demonic entity or a minion of the devil. To collect and help share people's encounters with the Hat Man, individual Tim Brown began the website The Hat Man Project, which asked visitors to the site, "Have you seen the Hat Man?" According to Brown, the website creator, administrator, researcher, he had personal encounter with the Hat Man, which led him to seek out others who had similar experiences. On the site, Brown describes the experience that introduced him to his phenomenon, which occurred in 1994 when he was 14, staying with his grandmother and great-grandmother. Lying in bed at around 2 a.m., Brown describes what he suddenly saw in the hallway. Sorry about my allergies, guys. The ragweed is terrible here in Oklahoma. "I saw a tall human-like figure and the figure looked like that of a man. The man had no distinguishable features whatsoever. I could see no eyes, no nose or mouth. Only blackness. He looked like a shadow, only darker, much darker. He had a very wide-brimmed hat and a long trench coat that flowed as he moved." The next day, the brown out that both his grandmother and great-mother had seen the entity before. Well, they found out it was a misspelling, sorry about that. Although, for many years, Brown wrote off the incident as his imagination. However, in 2013, Brown said he heard a program about shadow people on Coast to Coast AM, which showed him that there were many others who had seen the entity, and the Hat Man wasn't a product of his imagination after all. Once had, when he was a young boy, in which he saw a scary looking man walking down the street wearing a bowler hat. The man had scars all over his face. He looked upon Craven through the window and gave off a sense of foreboding. This is Wes Craven, guys, the author. While this could have just been an ordinary guy, not a shadowy person or a demon, it was still a creepy experience. People who reported coming across the Hat Man usually came to feel a frightening experience, as Wes Craven said he did that day also, in which gave him ideas for films, if they are being threatened, he said. It would seem that this entity's sole purpose in visiting people is to make them as uncomfortable and frightened as possible. They normally don't try to communicate except for the fact that they are emitting bad vibes. Their mere presence alone is enough to take someone to feel extremely uncomfortable and to even threaten. This is what the person who met the Hat Man says. This person says he met the Hat Man. When I was around 10 or 11, we lived in a small rural town that was a few miles away from a normal town. I guess a larger town is what he was trying to say. Anyways, there was only like 30-ish people there, and we all knew each other. Well, one day I was watching SpongeBob, and I just had this weird butterfly feeling in my gut, so I decided to look to my right out of the bedroom to check my dad. That's when I saw him, a tall man with a big detective-like hat, glowing red eyes, standing over my dad. I didn't know what to do, and it freaked me out. Imagine seeing that standing over your dad while you're laying there, and you look into the bedroom and see something like that standing over your dad. I kept yelling my dad's name, and he wouldn't wake up. The creature didn't even bother with me. But eventually my dad woke up, and that's when the thing looked at me and turned around fast. He walked toward the back of our house, and I followed him. There was no exit. This was the only way he could have went. Was he trying to escape? Well, he was really fast, and I barely saw his coattail right when he entered the bathroom. I ran, and he was gone. Nothing, no one was there. He escaped through the bathroom. I looked everywhere, even in the cabinet under the sink and in the water tank and the toilet. He was gone. Still, there's no evidence to suggest that something very bad happens after someone sees the Hat Man, or the ghost, or the demon, whatever it may be. It usually goes away after a few moments, and nothing bad ever happens afterwards, so shadow people are really malevolent. Is the Hat Man really a threat to anyone? It seems this phenomenon provides more questions than answers. Most people who witness a Hat Man claim they're solid and definitely an outline of a male body. Hunter and Connor, my two sons, had an encounter that I want to talk to y'all about on the live, and I didn't even think about this possibly being a Hat Man encounter, guys, until I got to thinking about it. One lady that had had many encounters with the Hat Man was taking a sleep aid, and I looked into this because I was wondering, more about it, and she had started seeing the Hat Man, and she was taking a sleep aid. Melatonin is actually what she was taking. The psychologist, also a preacher, reported that many of the people experiencing the Hat Man was either taking drugs, alcohol, or sleep aids. Benadryl is a huge factor in people that are having Hat Man experiences. Anything that causes us to be drowsy, tired, or anything like that. Okay, so I got to looking into it, guys, and I got to thinking, and from a Christian viewpoint, what I found, and it makes sense to me, is a preacher said that whenever they take things that cloud your judgment, that make you not of sound mind, that's when the people mostly see the Hat Man. Ephesians 5:18 says in the Bible, "And do not get drunk with wine, for that is debauchery, but filled with the Spirit." 1 Corinthians 15:34-33 says, "Do not be deceived, come to your right mind, and sin no more." Now, we focus on a sound mind when we talk about these things, and the phrase is from the Greek word, okay, this is where we're going to find out kind of what my theory is, okay? The Greek word sephronio, which is a compound word, sozo, It means, when placed together into one word, it means delivered, rescued, revived, salvaged, and protected. Okay. Proneo means rational or logical emotions. Timothy 1:7 to Timothy 1:7 says, For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, self-discipline. When you place together the two words, they mean sophroneo, means sound mind, and means safe and secure and delivered. Our mind is guarded by the Word of God. And when we take things that make us not in control of our mind or under the influence, such as alcohol that they call spirits for a reason, I believe, and things that cloud our judgment, then our judgment is then clouded, and we are then open to these entities, I believe, and more susceptible to them attacking us and having encounters and other bad things. So I wanted to kind of give you my theory on it. I want to talk to you all about it. We're going to go deep into this Friday night, and I hope that you will enjoy the Friday Night Live. She has a lot of stuff she's going to talk about from personal experience, and I hope you all bring personal experience with you. I'd like to have a deep conversation Friday night about this. I think it's going to be a scary, really, really deep conversation, but I'm excited to do it. Keep your head on a swivel, guys. Until next time, don't be something's dinner. We'll see you on the next one. Good to see y'all.